All right, sorry for the technical difficulties we experienced earlier. We are back now. We're going to start with September events. We saw these last week. The big one coming up is this Saturday on the 8th at 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. We have Spinal Hygiene Seminar with Dr. Chris Tuttle. If you've ever had any kind of back pain, discomfort, wondered how to improve your low back strength, this is a seminar you should come to. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's complimentary, meaning it's free. You just show up and you enjoy the knowledge bombs that are going to be dropped on you for an hour and a half. Okay? I think even if you could only make it to some of it, it's definitely worth its time. If you ask me next week about how to fix your low back issue and you tell me you didn't go to the seminar, probably not going to respond. I'm going to give it a week at least, okay? So show up to that. New yoga class schedule starts 9/1, so that's already started. Saturday Sculpt, 11:15 a.m., so this is on the yoga schedule now. It's a class. Sunday Yin, 10:30 a.m. Tuesday Mobility Express at 6:45 p.m. Thursday Active Recovery at 6:45 p.m. Holy cow, yoga classes will go 4 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Progression Nutrition, remember always schedule a free nutrition appointment with Jen or Julie. It's really easy to do that if you just head to cfbfit.com or ask one of us in the gyms. Other upcoming events in the distant future, Minnesota Open Weightlifting Championships, October 20th and 21st. That's the entire weekend. It's the biggest weightlifting meet in the Midwest. We're excited about it. There's going to be a lot of people there this year. Halloween party at Club 83, October 27th. Theme to be announced. Turkey Throwdown, Saturday, November 17th. The sign-up is out for Turkey Throwdown. Remember, the key to a good Turkey Throwdown team, there's really two big keys. A slightly inappropriate team name, and then having a lot of fun, okay? If you need help finding a team, let us know. We'll make one up for you, okay? And with that being said, it's time to the most important part of this show, and the show guts, as I like to call it, question and answer time. So, question and answers. Let's start it. And let's size down the screen correctly. All right. So we just talked a little bit about this. What are the best exercises for strengthening the lower back and the core? So we had this one a couple weeks ago. It was more core related, and our answers were both unanimously back squatting or heavy loaded squats of any kind. That could be double kettlebell front squats, it could be goblet squats, that could be front squats, especially back squats. To build upon this, though, I'm going to focus on what are the best exercises for strengthening the lower back, and I will send a wonderful video by our very own Jeremy McGinney about lower back pain. We'll see if we can get this to play here and hook up for just a second off to the side here in the corner, and you can kind of see what's going on, or can we? So we'll pop off the camera for just a second. And what you can see going on, this is a short 45-second video. I'll post this in the show notes this week. And these come from Dr. Stuart McGill. These are kind of his big 3 exercises. All right. You had the curl up at the beginning, but please note the specific way that it was done. The second exercise was the side plank. And then this last exercise was the bird dog. What you might be able to take away from this video is they're all unilateral exercises, meaning they're working one side of your body at a time. Great lower back warm-up. I would definitely expect to see these types of movements this Saturday at the Spinal Hygiene Seminar. If you aren't incorporating these in your warm-ups, then I think you're definitely missing out on taking care of your lower back. And they seem so simple and so basic, but usually those are the best ones. Josh, do you have any go-to lower back exercises that you like to do? I know we talked about this a little bit the other day, that you go to make sure your back stays in line, because it really is different for everybody, and there's no one-size-fits-all program at all, even when it comes to back health and strength.
Yeah, before CrossFit, when I was played basketball a lot, my back always hurt, probably from all the pounding on the hardwood.
Dropping threes.
That's right, dropping threes. Leaning. I used the Roman chair a lot, so I would do basically just three sets of 10 reps, back extensions on that pretty much every time I went in the gym, and that worked really well. I don't know if it was...
It'd be like a great post-workout.
Yeah, I don't know if it was anything special about the movement, but it was probably, once again, just the consistency of doing it all the time. Now I really like the bird dogs. Bird dogs, and then I try to really focus on my core when I'm lifting, back squatting, front squatting. That's really important.
Talking about bracing and breathing.
Yep. Usually my primary focus when I'm using the barbell now is my core. It's not really how much weight is on the bar. It's like I need to brace and use this weight.
Yeah, I mean, because if you're on a barbell, you're doing strength training. If you ever squat 400 pounds, great. But the bottom line is you're doing strength training, and like Josh said, if you're bracing, you can work your core anytime you're on it. So let's reiterate that. So we had that little video with just some general unilateral movement exercises you could warm up or end your day with. Josh had a recommendation of just 3 sets of 10 on something as simple as like a back extension. Now, please make sure you consult with the coach here at the gym before you just start doing any old kind of...
You can do Superman's probably.
Superman's would be great too. And again, any coach should be able to give this to you in 90 seconds or less. A simple low back exercise you could be doing, or you could check if there's a low back exercise you like to do as well. We have this wonderful machine that actually gets used more as a table in the gray gym, and it's called a reverse hyper. It's now, unfortunately, it's tough to get short people probably to fit on that, but if you're an average height, we can get short people to fit on it too. Just come talk to a coach. I'd love to help you use the reverse hyper machine if you're interested in doing some low back training. Next question. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to post online. We have Josh watching those questions. We'll come back around to your questions at the end, or if they tie in, we'll answer them as we go here. How important is the hook grip? I'm going to have to walk out of the frame for just a second. No. The hook grip is pretty important. I think it's I love it when somebody tells me they accidentally started driving with the hook grip. I think that's great. But in all honesty, you probably don't need it past the snatch or the clean and jerk. Those are really the only two movements that you're ever going to use the hook grip on. So I would say if you're big into Olympic weightlifting, it's really, really important. And you almost have to be using this unless you're somehow not able to for any reason. And above anything, it's just a safety reason. And the biggest reason for using the hook grip, again, that's your thumb going under your middle finger when you wrap around a barbell. The biggest reason to use this is this allows you to not death grip the barbell, and that would be good if you're doing a deadlift. You want to death grip the barbell. But when you're doing an Olympic lift, you want your arms to be able to freely move because we have to pull that bar over the head in a snatch movement. And if you're really tense, you're more likely to just have your arm go straight out if you're death gripping the barbell. So the thought is, and how it was taught to me, is that you only want to grip the bar as tight as you need to. So if you're warming up on just an empty barbell, you really don't need a super tight hook grip. Now, with that being said, and I'm sure Josh maybe has some words on this, if you only do hook grip all the time on everything, and again, like I said at the beginning, don't hook grip everything, probably just snatch and clean and jerks, you are failing to train your entire grip. So, yeah, it's really important if you're doing Olympic lifts.
I completely agree with Nick. Wait, though.
Wait. All right, he's going to add something in.
So if you are training for something that requires increased grip strength, you shouldn't, like you said, don't hook grip your deadlift. I would also encourage you not to reverse grip your deadlift.
Yes. We should just talk about grip now. This is a great segue.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to use this grip on the deadlift until you are failing with what do they call this, straight grip, or what do they call this?
Yeah, just standard grip.
Standard grip.
We'll just call it standard grip.
I see that a lot. So I see people warming up in this grip, and I'm like, okay. So we should start here, and then we go to this later. We always keep this in our back pocket. I use this in the WODs because it's great in WODs, but in strength work, it's always just...
Well, and just if you turn your hands like that, how are you not going to cause some kind of imbalance like that if that's the only way you ever grip the bar?
Yeah, you should be rotating the way you're doing it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Or if you stick to just overhand grip, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and for for Spartan training, when I do a lot of cleans in my Spartan programming, I don't use hook grip because the entire purpose of that movement for what I'm doing is increase my grip strength.
And you know what? On a power clean for what Josh was talking about, that makes a lot of sense. But if you're going to snatch, it's a very technical movement, and you want that free moving motion in your arms. So let's back it up even further. I would say you have to hook grip on the snatch. Clean depends on the situation. But if you're doing maximal weight, I would still recommend hook gripping.
I don't recommend anyone who is focusing on Olympic lifts not to hook grip.
Yeah, that's easy enough.
This was funny, Jordan, because we were talking.
We don't use names.
We were talking about this at Nukes, and then I was sitting in the office when you submitted the question, and I started laughing, and Nick was like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Yeah."
You're gonna love the podcast this week, Nick. All right, next question. What do you think about the CrossFit Games restructuring and the elimination of regionals? Is this going to change the games as we know it and love them today? No.
Next question.
I'll start off here. I think I talked to a lot of people about this, I guess, and by a lot of people like Nate and Jeremy, but and I read all the comments online, and it sucks, but I think from a business standpoint, I can see it because I think they're spending a lot of money on regionals, and I think regionals are a hard event. If you look around, I think we had a really good turnout in the Central Regional always for crowds, just because it's one of the best regionals in the world, obviously. But I think if you look at some of those regionals, they're not that well attended. And if you heard any of the background story, this year they had a regional in like Latin America, for example, and they rented one of the former Olympic stadiums that they used in the Rio Olympics. And then so they were going to truck all the equipment down there, and none of the equipment ever made it because there was a trucker strike, and they surrounded the city of Rio, not allowing people to go in and out, and they never got their equipment. All the equipment at the Latin America regionals was actually borrowed from local affiliates.
Yeah. And regionals renting those facilities and running those events are incredibly expensive, and I don't think people really get just how much it costs. Mm-hmm. So I completely understand why they're doing that. Like they said, one facility, just the rental was $1 million, and you need massive sponsorship. You need Nike sponsorship to cover that.
Because the Reebok deal that they made 10 years ago isn't as good as it was 10 years ago compared to today to what the games need to run and be awesome.
And this is even happening up at the Granite Games. There was some. If you're on the Granite Games forum, you saw some complaining about the spectator fee, and it's just people just don't understand what it costs to run these events.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's probably going to take a year or two for people to settle down and see like, hey, this can be okay. But it's kind of like going back to sectionals.
Yeah.
And this is like early on CrossFit, and this is before my time in it. So you'd have to talk to somebody like Jeremy or Nate or Josh could tell you about it too. But they used to have sectional qualifying, and just wasn't it just a gym that volunteered to like do it, that had the space essentially?
Yeah, no, everyone was different. Like it'll be now again. They're kind of going back to that now. Judging is much better now than it used to be. They can still judge requirements, but literally, like we could have our own sectional, and we would send our top athletes or whoever came and competed here. That's who would go to the games.
Yeah, and we're not saying that's what's happening, but that's what it used to be like at the inception of the games. So I think it's going to take a few years to iron itself out, but I think in the long run, I think the games are going to survive. I think Madison has been really, really good for the CrossFit Games as a whole. I think it's a place where the CrossFit Games can be a profitable event. I know it sucks to hear, it has to be a profitable event, but it can mean it kind of does. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to run it. So I also think this is really going to be good for affiliates and affiliate support. So I think we're only going to see more affiliates popping up because they have the resources to help the CrossFit community to continue to grow by funneling this out of regionals and putting it back to the gyms.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever talked to Greg Glassman, he never talks about the games, and it wasn't surprising, I guess, for me to hear that they were going to start focusing on long-term health, which is what CrossFit was originally for. Mm-hmm. So they can have them both. I don't know why they don't separate it out, but
yeah, they could totally. They both can coexist, and I think they're going to for a long time.
In my opinion, they should split the company.
Yeah.
So,
Dave Castro, Greg Glassman. Next question. There are several different recommendations for water consumption. What is CFP's recommendation for water intake? More water in days when we work out versus not? And how much is too much? How much is too much? One time there was a water drinking contest, and I think a lady died trying to win a GameCube from a water drinking contest,
Not
and,
funny, but
and
that might
I think she internally drowned. And I think you have to literally try to get to that point. I don't think I could get there. Don't worry about that. That was a bad way to start out that question. One I've always heard and stuck with, and I was just telling Josh, I don't remember where I got this from, but I think a good place to start is half your body weight in ounces of water. Okay, if you don't know where to start. And once you're used to that, I think if you can drink your body weight in ounces of water, that's not a half bad goal, but it's pretty hard to do.
Yeah, it's part of the problem with this question is like, okay, yeah, so half your body weight in ounces, but where did that come from? I don't know. So when I did my Spartan SGX training, we actually were required to do a sweat test.
Ooh.
So we had to, we weighed ourselves, and then we went and worked out for an hour plus. You had to keep track of all the water you drank during your workout, and then you came back in and weighed yourself after the workout. And the difference was the amount of water you lost. So I actually knew how much water I should be drinking while I was working out.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what you should all do if you want to answer this question.
Technically, you could do that. You just jump on the in-body scan machine before you work out, like on like a Labor Day workout like Nukes, and then as soon as you're done, you go run back in there, but don't drink any water.
That's right.
We're going to have a line out the door of the in-body scan room.
I lost 3 pounds during Nukes.
So what did that tell you? You just needed more water?
It told me I sweat a lot.
So the answer is different for everybody, but you need to focus on getting water into your body and into your workouts. There's measurable ways you can go about this, like a sweat test, like Josh was talking about. You probably could go to endless resources online. If you use the MyFitnessPal app, they give you recommendations. If you are in Beyond the Whiteboard, it's actually an option to check your daily water intake. So Beyond the Whiteboard, you hear us harping on it. There's not much for us to gain from it by you guys signing up for it. Like, we want you to sign up for it, but there's no incentive for us if we have more people. It's not cheaper. It's actually more expensive.
We're at the max, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're at the max subscription. So use Beyond the Whiteboard. There's so many good tools in it, like tracking your water intake. If you want to know more about that, stop any coach. We'd love to take you through it or get you signed up for it. Again, sign up code for Beyond the Whiteboard, Prog406. Next question.
Drink water.
Yeah, drink water. Hashtag that. What's the best fitness endurance event in your opinion, and why? I was really excited for this. Forget rucking. No, I'm just kidding, Ryan. but there's a lot of good mainstream fitness events out there, so I did my best to find a super obscure one. So this is really popular in Spain. It's called Skimo. And what you do is you hike up a mountain, and then you ski down as fast as you can. And this thing is huge. It's a fringe sport. There's no big sponsors in it, so I'm going to go with that as the best fitness endurance event in my opinion. And why? Because you literally are hiking up a mountain through altitude. This is in the Spanish Alps, and then you're skiing down it as fast as you can. There's the possibility of death. There's extreme endurance involved there. Altitude, mountain sickness is a real issue. Like, this is hard. This is probably up there with the Tour de France, maybe. I don't know. Josh, what about you?
Hammer race.
Obviously.
Hammer race.
Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it's legit. What's the one where you cross-country ski and then shoot?
Oh, that is
legit.
biathlon, the winter biathlon.
Biathlon, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Because that is incredibly cardiovascular, and then you need to slow your heart rate down to hit a small little target with the pellet.
Yeah, we definitely aren't approaching this question with just purely biased opinions, but let's try to do one like an unbiased opinion. There's some. What about the Barclays? The Barclay marathons. Isn't that what you?
That is terrible. Yes.
What is that? Can you explain what that is?
Best fitness, and that's like torture.
Yeah.
5 marathons they have to complete?
Like ultras?
Yeah, there's no map. They go in the woods. Is it in
Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. They're in the mountains, and they have checkpoints where they have books, and they got to take their page out of the book to prove they were there.
So we have Skimo, we have Hammer Race, we have Barclays. I think what makes a good fitness endurance event is something that goes beyond the physical, because everybody's in really good shape who does these things or goes to these insane ultras or does the Skimo World Championships. But I think what goes beyond that, yeah.
CrossFit competitions are good. They're much better. I mean, they're much safer than they used to be. Mm-hmm. Most of the events are programmed pretty smartly now. Most of the workouts are pretty short. You still might do 2 to 3 a day, but they're pretty short, not like they used to be.
Well, and if we're being honest here, like the CrossFit Open is a great example of one of the world's best fitness endurance events, because think about how many people you have in it competing worldwide, hundreds of thousands of people, literally. Technically, as of right now, this is going to change, but it's one of the few actual sanctioned CrossFit events in the world, because unless it says CrossFit on it, it's not technically from HQ. So so it's actual CrossFit event, and they're great, safe, repeatable workouts every single year. So,
yes, repeatable.
Repeatable, yeah, repeatable, but not necessarily that you would want to. I think it's a really good test of your yearly fitness and obviously your overall physical preparedness. So yeah, I guess a real answer: CrossFit Open. Who came up with Nogfest? So we had to go back and we had to deliberate. We had to argue about this, and we remembered a few things.
There were names called.
I'm probably going to change the story right now. So we.
How honest are we going to be?
How honest are we going to be? I think we came up with this. Not too honest. We came up with this as a group. Originally, I told Josh that I came up with it, but then we realized I didn't come up with it. I think I just did a lot of shouting about it. We knew we wanted to do some kind of a fundraising event, and
we were inspired by what event was it?
There was some
Santa, was it?
Oh my God, you're so right. There were all these holiday events running that were for donation purposes and whatnot, and you pick one, and some gym was doing a special one. We're like, well, why can't we come up with our own? We don't want to
do our own,
because I think we got a ton of emails from companies who are running these giant ones that you had to pay exorbitant amount of monies to be a part of. It's like, we could do this for a lot cheaper. So originally, here's a funny story. We couldn't settle on a name for it. And I think Josh threw out Nogfest. But originally we were going to call it HHF, Holiday Hellfest.
Yes.
And we just came to the conclusion that
probably wasn't the best name.
Especially if the funds were going to go to Boys and Girl Club after it. Oh, who donated all this money? Holiday Hellfest at CrossFit Progression. So Nogfest was born. Again, I think Josh was the one who put the final touch on the name, Nogfest.
Yeah, I was.
And then I believe I wrote...
Let's have everyone drink eggnog afterwards.
Yeah. Nobody will throw up. And the workout, I think I came up with a lot of the workout.
I think was the workout stolen or not?
No.
Was it?
No. I think it was all original, guys.
Okay.
I don't know. We've been doing it for so many years now that it's awesome. It's one of our favorite events, though. Nogfest is good. It's short, effective, raises a ton of money for a good cause. Can't go wrong there. When will Nick have another VTS training?
That says bother. When will Nick bother?
I think it was another. It's supposed to be another. If you look at the keyboards, B is right by another, and there's no another. But we'll read it your way. When will Nick bother to have another VTS training? It was one of the best things to strengthen my core, back, grip, shoulders, and glutes. I'm looking to do another VTS sometime this winter. I don't have any official dates, but keep your ears open, ears and eyes open, and we'll post about that soon. Thank you for asking, by the way. That's really good feedback. I have some knee pain during workouts. When should a person use a knee brace, slip-on type, or does this just mask a larger problem? If you recommend using, what is the brand you would recommend using? If you have knee pain during workouts, first thing I would ask, and if it's reoccurring, is one, do you have a history of this? And if so, what caused it before? And two, how much mobility time are you doing after class? How much prep are you doing before class to take care of your body? So a lot of times what happens, because you squat literally every day, most likely in your CrossFit class, or do some kind of loaded movement that involves a squatting motion or your legs every single day, is those muscle fibers get tight above and below your knee, like your quad starts to pull and your patella tendon. And a lot of times if the pain's down the center of your knee, it can just be because you have muscle tightness and whatnot. And if you as simple as you doing some quad mashing, some foam rolling after a class for 5 to 10 minutes on each leg can go a really, really long way in helping take care of the knee pain. If you're doing nothing, then you're going to have knee pain for sure. Okay, you're going to have some kind of tightness that might cause what feels like pain. I guess I would recommend to use a knee brace if you've experienced consistent knee pain, you've had past injuries, and if you have a hard time warming up. Knee braces are a great way just to get your knees warm faster. I know that's why I started using them. I didn't have a history of knee pain or a knee injury or anything like that, but they definitely helped me warm up and get past that initial phase where my knees were cracking like crazy.
Yep, I think I have a history of knee issues. They pretty much stopped after I stopped playing basketball and switched to CrossFit. But I don't do a lot of volume in CrossFit. It's 3 to 4 days a week, and then I'm either running or biking or doing something else. So I also I recommend those knee braces, basically the slip-on type, to pretty much everyone over like 35 years old. There's no really set age.
Yeah.
Just because of the warm-up issue. I put mine on 15 minutes before class, gets my knees nice and warm up. Sorry, Bradley's giving me love. Gets my knees nice and warm, and then I feel like I can squat much more effectively without any issues.
Yeah.
Used to be only Ray-Bans were like basically the only ones you could buy, or McDavid's. But now there's so many. So find some that work for you. You can just go to Shields and get the cheap McDavid's if you want. Otherwise, Amazon has them really cheap. I would go to Shields first though, because you can probably get a better idea what you're actually buying before you do so. Otherwise, is it Bear Complex has? All kinds.
Yeah,
There's all kinds of them.
I'm sure there's no shortage of people in the gym who would let you try their knee braces on too.
Gross, but yes.
Yeah, maybe determine the person before you ask if you borrow their knee braces.
I have 2 sets. I have a thinner set of McDavid's that I use for general CrossFit anytime. I pretty much have them on every time I work out. Not always.
Yeah,
but,
helps mask your knees for burpees.
Burpees are great. They're good for running. And then I have a thicker pair of Ray-Bans. I think they're 3 or 5 mil.
Yeah, probably 3 mil. Oh, the thicker ones, like the old blue ones.
Yeah, I have the blue ones.
The strongman ones that tear out in the back all the time.
No, well, I'm not that big, so.
So and then another one in there. There's one from Hook Grip. So it's essentially these Chinese knee sleeves. They're really popular in weightlifting circles. They're super thin. They're $14 a pair, and they kind of come in a bunch of cool different colors. Although they used to not come in cool colors. They used to be gray or blue, and now the market has exploded, as Josh has said, thanks to Rogue Fitness and CrossFit, essentially. So you can find any color or design knee brace you probably want, or knee sleeve. Yeah, like Josh, I think Josh's recommendation is really good too. If anything, it's going to give you peace of mind about your knees. It's going to help you warm up. And if you go with the thicker kind of knee sleeve too, it kind of gives you that little extra padding at the bottom of your squat. So if maybe when you go to rock bottom, that's when your knees don't feel good, it's going to prevent your knee from closing all the way down. And it's not like you're going to lose any range of motion on that. Nothing significant, but it will prevent you from hitting that absolute rock bottom, which maybe could be a little hard on your knees. So hopefully that answers your question. Again, please post in the comments if you do have any questions you'd like us to answer. I think we're almost done. That might have been the last one. We'll see. Oh, here's a good one. We know to listen to our body when coming back from an injury, but many people push through when working out through an illness. I am guilty of this. With respiratory season coming up, what do you guys recommend for a timetable coming back from flu, cold, or I don't know the last part there, or another, it must have been another illness. Okay. Well, with respiratory season coming up, what do you guys recommend for a timetable coming back from flu, cold, or another illness? That's a really good question.
Yep. Every time I'm here, it's like consistency, guys. So if you're coming to the gym consistently 3 to 4 times a week, if you get sick, you stay home for a week, you're fine.
Yep.
You're gonna get better faster if you're not stressing your immune system, stressing your body, which is what you do when you come to the gym and you work out hard. It stresses your body, which is why you get results. So if you're sick, you should stay home. We can give you something to do if you want, or if you're not contagious, you can come in and just take it easy. You don't want to overly stress your body when you're sick. It's just going to slow you from getting better.
Yeah, and with with cold season could be anytime, and you have to remember we clean the gym, but it's really hard to clean barbells and dumbbells effectively and efficiently with all the grooves and stuff on there. So even with people wiping down with sanitary wipes every class, your gyms in general are just always going to be places that have germs, lots of germs. So I would make it a habit that you wash your hands before you work out and wash your hands after you work out, or at least after you work out. Okay, it's not a bad habit to get into. I think we can keep our community healthy that way as well. And I'm right on board with Josh's listening to your body and giving yourself a week off. You're not going to lose anything. It's going to feel like it, and you're going to feel like you're dying because you haven't worked out.
Yeah, it's when you come back after you've been sick for a week and PR and everything, you go, oh, maybe I'm not recovering enough.
Yeah, exactly. You realize what recovery week you can take the recovery week or be forced to take multiple recovery weeks, depending, your choice. Oh, there are several different recommendations for water consumption. What is CFP's recommendation for water intake? More water on days we work out versus how much is too much? That one got tossed in there twice. Oh, here's another one. Okay. What's your favorite hero and or girl WOD? I'm going to go with Fran, which is 21-15-9 pull-ups and thrusters.
That's the worst.
Yeah, but it's just so simple and so effective. I love the workouts that are just super, super short and you feel dead the rest of the day from.
Yeah, Helen's my favorite, always has been. I've probably done it more than any other one. 3 rounds, 400-meter run, 21 kettlebell swings, 12 pull-ups. So simple and so devastating to the forearms. And if you don't run, you don't get a good score. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, this is a good point. All right, and that is it for this week on the question and answers. I'm going to start playing. If there's any last-second questions, go ahead, post them. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching this week. This was Prog.cast episode number 4.
Still not ready for prime time, but we're getting there.
Yeah, we figured out some delay. I don't think it was as choppy this week. Let us know if the stream was less choppy. That's why we actually had the short delay. I think we figured it out. So, we're going to exit out of here. If you're going to the Granite Games this weekend, good luck. Have a fun time. Enjoy the experience.
Peace out.